for our challenge. The challenge that we're going to be doing today is going to be called level 11, and it's going to be an easy challenge. So let's get started. So I already solved this challenge, and if you see right away, we have this level 11. User 1 is like Captain Flag. This application is used to view the username with or without the costumes of the superhero by ID. Also, I was told superheroes have enemies. To prevent SQL injection, I use super efficient blacklist-based filter. No more nasty union or join. Check the source here. So if we check the source here, you see there's a bunch of things going on, but let's check what we could do. So first thing I tried doing is try checking out if I can press another number. So I did submit 1. When we get the ID, must be a numeric is superior to 1. So that's one thing we have to keep in mind. The ID can't be. It has to be more than 1. So if we just keep on raising this, it doesn't do anything but let's do 2. Submit query. Spider-Man. So then we get all of this. So now what can we do next? What can we do next? So after that, I try changing something up like this and see what happens. Peter Parker. Oh, it just tells us without their costume who the real person is. So now we want to check the index page and see what's going on over there. So we have display error. We have this. So rock solid 2. So it has to be numeric. It says right here and greater than 2. So that makes kind of sense. The ID has to be greater than or equal to 2. Then we have these things that are filtered out. Exclamation, backward slash, the comment, the $sign, percentage, and star, plus, minus, all these symbols. And union, join, and add are blacklisted too. So if it sees any of it, then it prints out false for the most part. So I guess what can we do at this point? What can we do? So if we keep on checking right here, we see a bunch of stuff. Submit, user ID, and table. So I guess it has a post request. So that's what's happening on the background. Then we have this sanitize whatever we input. So it sanitizes our input from ID and table. So now we have this SQLite database. So it gets passed in, all of our values get passed in over here. And we see this right here, select ID and username from table and ID, where ID is that. So this is commented out. So this tells us that we're supposed to find a way to grab the enemy, because the ID and username, they're given to us right here, but we have to find a way to print out enemy. So how do we do this? Like, how do we solve this part of this challenge? So how could we do this? So one of the things when I was like doing this challenge was checking what happens in the background. So if I go Control I, inspect, and view the network tab and see what happens. So if I press 2 and then submit it, we see a post request gets sent, and we check it right here. And we check the request. We see 2 costume and submit plus query. So what I want to do is play around with this and do a resend. So the way to solve this challenge is pretty much you want to be able to do is remove costume. We can use as or equals, because that's gonna set, because we want to set certain things equal to each other. In our case, we had to find a way that we could print out the enemy one. So let's do this. So if we have so this gets to stay the same. The user ID is 2, but right here, this is where the table, this is where our injection gets into play. So our tables are our injection point, because the table gets put right here. So what we want to do here is basically delete this right here and start messing around with it. We'll use something with parentheses, because it's with parentheses we're able to, I guess, run our own SQL query. So from right here we want to do select, and then we want to do ID 2, select 2 ID. So what does this do? Select 2 ID is basically just like doing 2 ID is equal to 2, or ID as 2. It's very similar to that. So that's basically what we're doing with this part. We probably could do like, but I think this should be fine. Select 2 and ID, and then from here on, what we can do is basically just put a value right here. We'll do enemy, which is what we want to grab, and we'll set it equal to how we set 2 equal to ID. We'll set enemy equal to a costume, and then we'll get it from select enemy. Enemy is now going to be equal to the enemy value is going to set to the column of costume, or no, username. So now we have 2 is set as ID, and then enemy gets set as username, and we're gonna get this all from costume. So now we see all of this. So let's check our logic. So we have select ID and username from, and then this is the table, and this is where the parentheses comes into play. So right here, now ID is now set as 2, and the username is now set as table, because inside our inner parentheses we did that, and then we get it all from costume, and then from costume is where ID is equal to 2. So now it's gonna print out the enemy but as a username for this. So if we sent this request, we see something gets sent, and we check the cookies, the request, and then response, and then at the end we see Websec, who needs you as anyway when you have SQLite. So the application used to view the username with or without by ID, and also superheroes have elements. So that's how we were able to solve this challenge. And I think we probably could have done 1 or something like that. From where, yeah, I think this is fine, because yeah, this should be fine, because either way we should be able to get done. And I think the username, it grabs the first thing on the column, and the first thing on top was the Websec was number 1, which is Websec who needs you when you have SQLite. So if we submit this, yeah. So if we grab this right around here and just submit it, Control C, and then we just submit it right here. We already submitted, so it's probably gonna say, yeah, you flag 11 already submitted for this challenge. But yeah, that was about it for the most part. Just understanding that you don't need as or equal sign to set stuff as equal. You can just put these right next to each other and it'll do it by itself. So that was like the cool part of this challenge. I didn't know you could do that with SQLite. So anyway, that's about it for me. I hope you guys learned something new today. I know I did, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Anyway, peace.